Hey comic fans, Dave here at Ground Zero. It's Wednesday morning. That means it is time for your weekly look at what's new on the shelves at your favorite local comic book store. Well, it's another week in 2022, and once again, we have a number of books that are MIA. That's right, we have a lot of titles that are missing in action. We don't know exactly when they're going to arrive. In fact, the last time we had all of our books here on time was before Christmas. Now, this has led a lot of you to ask, Dave, can't the comic industry get its act together? Well, now, the short answer to that is no. Of course, it's no. The comic industry has never had its act together, and there's no reason why 2022 would be any different. But the somewhat longer answer has to do with the changes to the direct distribution system that we've experienced over the last 2 years. You see, just 2 years ago, a comic shop could get everything it needed to put on its shelves from a single source. Diamond Comic Distributors handled all the comic lines and all the ancillary merchandise that we needed to put on our shelves, so it all arrived from a single place in the same box, usually on the same day. And if there were problems, you went to the same source to solve them. That all changed in 2020, first when DC Comics pulled out and went with a separate distributor, and then at the end of 2021 when Marvel signed an exclusive agreement with Random House Penguin. Now, obviously, this has meant a lot of changes in the industry because we've got 3 different sources that handle things very differently. Lunar actually has turned out to be a pretty good distributor, but they are still experiencing growing pains as they try to build their infrastructure. Now, Penguin Random House already had a huge infrastructure. It's a well-established distributor that is used to handling books, so they have had to really learn new ways to distribute monthly periodicals that we seem to expect to arrive in, good condition. Diamond, however, has been doing it for decades and has served the industry well, but they were absolutely upended by these latest changes. Losing DC and Marvel were huge. That is a massive amount of their business, and they've done the best they can to try to keep their ship afloat through this period. Now, just 3 weeks ago, they told us books would arrive 48 hours late. 48 hours turned out to be 5 days. Last week, they told us 24 hours. It was a couple of days before we got it. This week, however, they tell us it's going to be approximately 72 hours. So I don't know what that actually translates to with the new Diamond math, but I guess we'll find out. Now, what this means is we've got 3 very different situations. Kind of think of it like trying to potty train 3 different 800-pound toddlers. Needless to say, you got to watch where you step. However, we do have books. We might as well start with a distributor that did get us all the books we asked for this particular week. That would be Lunar with DC Comics. Speaking of 800-pound toddlers, we might as well start with Batman. Now, I'm a big fan of the Urban Legends series. I kind of pump it every time it comes out. Always good writers in this book. This one is no exception. Vita Ayala, Ram V, 2 very good writers. But most importantly, this has a story by my current writer crush, Mark Russell. In fact, he is starting a serial that involves Ace the Bat Hound. Now, I may dump on Batman a lot, but I have nothing but respect for Ace the Bat Hound. And he's here, so buy this book. It's Mark Russell. I like Mark Russell. And if you need more Batman, well, luckily for you, there is maybe just a little bit more. We certainly get the newest issue of Detective, 3rd week in a row for the 3rd issue of Detective in a row. Now, the last one, the first part of this Shadow of the Bat, did really well. I sold out really quickly and had people say, yeah, I need a copy. Hopefully we have more coming in pretty soon. We also have the new issue of Robin and Batman, in case you like your Batman getting second billing. And we've got I Am Batman, in case you like your Batman not being Bruce Wayne. Because it's not. Also, speaking of potty training 800-pound toddlers, it's issue number 2 for Batgirls. So there is that. You make your own jokes if you feel the need. 2 more books I will mention from DC. Harley Quinn, The Eat, Bang, Kill Tour is getting close to the end. The 5th issue of that is in this week. Meanwhile, starting something new, the 1st issue of the Justice League versus the Legion of Superheroes is finally arrived. This is what Brian Michael Bendis has been building towards for a while. Legion fans have been anxiously chomping at the bit waiting for this to come in, and it's finally here. So rejoice, Legion and Justice League fans. Moving over to Marvel. Now, I got a bunch of Marvel books, but I did not get them all. We were missing several titles from them, including Ms. Marvel, The Thing, Marvel Voices, and a couple of others. But we did get enough to have a decent showing over there. We're going to start with some Devil's Reign spinoffs. First, the book that a lot of people have actually been asking me about for a while, and that is Daredevil Woman Without Fear. This, of course, as I said, is a Devil's Reign tie-in. But I think even a cooler Devil's Reign tie-in is Superior 4. Now, back in the 90s, people really loved the new Fantastic Four that was Wolverine, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, and the Hulk. Well, we get a slightly different interpretation of that here. We get 3 of those 4 combined with Dr. Octopus, because pretty much everybody is combining with Dr. Octopus. We get Dr. Doom Octopus, I guess, and all sorts of others. Got a Spider-Man Octopus. They all get extra arms. It's fresh arms for everybody. It's kind of neat in a really weird sort of way. So if you're looking for something weird and neat, Superior 4. 2 books that I will mention from Marvel, just because I almost never mention them. It's like I don't need to. Star Wars, but every week Star Wars arrive. This week is no exception. We get Star Wars and Star Wars Bounty Hunters. So, death, taxes, Star Wars. The last Marvel book I will mention is Darkhawk, mostly because this blew me away. Darkhawk has been around for 30 years. Man, how time flies. So, relic of the 90s or new hotness. Either way, this is Kyle Higgins, so a lot of people like it. Speaking of the 90s, and issue number 2, Evil Ernie is here to kind of remind us why we really shouldn't be all that nostalgic for the 90s in the first place. So, Evil Ernie. Other books. Now, these indies that I'm bringing up here are books that were supposed to have shipped last week. Now, we did get them just a couple of days late, so we put them on the stands last week, but a lot of you who normally come in on New Comic Book Day did not get to see these, so at least we have some books that may be new to you. But if you came in last week, say on Saturday or Sunday or whatever, well, you already have these books. But Brian Haberlin's Hellcop came in. Actually, the long-awaited Noctera Special. That was one that a lot of people have been anxiously awaiting, and it's here, so there you are. Nita Hawes' Nightmare Blog. This is kind of a fun one. I'm not normally into horror type books, but this one's kind of got a neat slant on it. And the cover is really, really blue. So if you like your books black and blue, this book is for you. Finally, the book that really is the whole reason I'm mentioning all these books that actually came in a few days ago. Certainly I wasn't able to mention them last week because I have been so looking forward to this one, the final issue of this particular run of Not All Robots. As I've said, Mark Russell is my current writer crush. He has so much to say in this one. Obviously, this book, particular series part will end with more left to be said. He's got a lot of commentary on what's going on in the world now, and he does it so well. That's kind of what he does as a writer. Handles it kind of like a surgeon with a sledge scalpel, So, or a scalpel hammer. I think scalpel hammer is better. So, scalpel hammer is the new word for the day. Mark Russell, Not All Robots. I really loved this book. This was my favorite book of 2020. So if you hadn't checked it out, well, the trade's coming soon, and then a sequel series. I can't wait. Trades. Well, we got very little in the way of trades this week, handful. But one trade I'll certainly start off with is Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is a worldwide phenomenon. The series itself, 24, I think, volumes, is largely done, but this is a special side project that is called Stories of Flame and Fire. And it is here. We got a bunch of them because everybody loves Demon Slayer. So come buy a copy. A couple of Marvel books, 3 actually, a trilogy of Marvel books that I will mention. United States of Captain America. I miss the good old days when this book could hit the stands and Fox News could get outraged, and largely that's past now. But hey, if you want to know what all the fuss was about, United States of Captain America is now collected in a convenient trade, and it's here. As is the Immortal Hulk. Now, I thought Immortal Hulk was done in trades because I thought they'd done all of Al Ewing's run. Turns out there was a bunch of oddball one-shots and crossovers and different things. So if you want your Immortal Hulk collection complete, you have to buy this one too. And it also is here. The final book that I will mention from Marvel is the latest Epic Collection. I've grown to love these. I really think they need to keep all of these in print as much as possible, but they don't. There are just too many of them, and they're all too massive. So honestly, if you're talking the early volumes of Fantastic Four or Spider-Man, they probably will keep reprinting those, but other books, not so much, so you want to jump on them when they are available. This is the latest volume of Avengers West Coast. Obviously, we're getting into the John Byrne issues with some pretty cool Scarlet Witch and Vision stories. It is here, and I recommend it. And that should be enough for you. Well, folks, we might make it under 10 minutes, so that would be a nice thing on a week like this. They are here. It is actually a pretty good, solid shipment. So, folks, whatever you're doing, do it with gusto, as always. It's not about having what you want. It's about wanting what you have. And please don't let that be 800-pound toddlers, because the potty training is murder. Folks, be safe, everybody. Visit your local comic shop. Have a great day.